Hi everyone, this is NoeJoe from Thranda Design. In partnership with Just Flight, we're releasing the BAe-146 for X-Plane 11, and this is the second in a series of tutorial videos. Today we're going to go through engine starting from cold and dark. Let's get to it. So here we are in the cockpit. We already have the plane loaded up. If we bring up the tablet here, we can see we've got fuel and passengers on board. We might actually be able to hear the passengers in the background. Got the door open right now. So let's go through the engine start procedure. So from the menu, I'm going to pull up the checklists, and we're just going to start going through this one by one. So first we're verifying the gear lever is down, our weather radar is set to off, transponder is set to standby, which is down here. I'm going to move this out of the way. There we go. Air brake is in, selected forward, flaps are selected up. Nav lights on. Now these won't actually be on yet because they require AC electrical power. So once we get the APU up and running, our nav lights will come on. Batteries on and checked. So we'll turn on the first battery and we can see voltage. We're just below 25 volts. That's good. See battery 2 is offline. We'll bring it on and check it. That looks good. Now we can verify. Gear is down and we have 3 green indications. The wheel brakes are set to yellow and pulled out for park. So parking brakes are on. Master switches on. So these are way up here, the yaw damp master, the autopilot master, and the avionics master switches, as well as the anti-skid on, and yellow and green spoilers selected on. Down here on the electrical panel, we're going to close the bus tie switches. So now the DC2 bus is powered. And standby inverter armed. And standby generator is armed as well. That's hydraulically powered, so it's not going to do anything yet. Now, generators 1 and 4 off. So these are the electric generators on the engine. They are set to off. APU generator, we're going to select that on. The APU is not running yet. Verify our fire handles are all in, which they are. Ground tests, I'm going to come over here. We won't go through these today, but this is when we could check all the ground tests, the stall identification, speed warning, overspeed stuff, that sort of thing. External AC on if required. We're not actually using our ground power. However, if we wanted ground power, we could select it here, and now we see external AC power available. However, we're going to use our APU instead. So, APU on if required. So we're going to go over here and click Start. Now we're going to notice APU low oil pressure goes out pretty soon, but we're going to have this APU low fuel pressure light because it's pulling from the left inner feed tank. However, these fuel pumps are powered by AC electrical power. So right now the APU is just pulling via suction, so it's got a low pressure situation for its fuel. There we go. Now APU power is available. The APU generator came online, and we can see amperage for it, and the fuel pump came online. So now, master warning system, tested. So this is our master warning system. We're just going to click and hold here, and we can verify all those lights turn on. There are other tests we can do, but we're going to skip those for today. Other annunciators, we can check the overhead panel with these, all of those annunciators. And we also have annunciators down here. Click there, and we get all of our autopilot mode annunciators. So that's looking good. So next, cabin emergency lights, arm, right there. Air conditioning, as required. So let's go ahead and turn on the APU air, and we'll turn on our air conditioning packs. I'm going to move the camera view over here, we'll see a little better. And air conditioning, we'll set up temperature there and there. And so we should see the duct temp came up, and this cabin temperature is gradually going to be increasing. DC pump test. So we can check the DC pump on the hydraulic system, and this should charge up the brake accumulator. There it is. So that's working. Next, AC pump and PTU. So we're going to set the AC pump on. This uses AC electrical power to pressurize the yellow hydraulic system. And now the PTU uses yellow hydraulic pressure to run a pump to pressurize the green system. So we can verify the pressures are up. Those are both working. Thrust levers, config checked and off. We're just going to leave them off for now. and back up to AC pump off and PTU off. Continuous ignition. This guy is, down here. Continuous ignition, these are the igniters for the engines, so off. Engine anti-ice, we're going to turn all 4 of those valves on for engine start. Heaters, off. We're leaving the screen and pitot heaters off. Wingtail ice protection, off. That's these guys. And engine air, these are the bleed air for the pressurization, those are off. So now, flight deck emergency lights, arm. These are floodlights in the cockpit. Control disc handles in, our yoke is free and unlocked. Yaw dampers, verify both are on, we turn those on. And autopilot, the master is on, but we're verifying the autopilot itself is off. And we can also verify that down here, that is off. So now, before start, safety exterior checks, we've done our exterior walk around. Brakes, yellow, and parking pressure and temp. So, the brakes are set to the yellow system. We have yellow pressure on the brakes rather than green. And the brake temperature, we're going to turn on. And the highest temperature of any of the brakes is 18 Celsius, so they are fine. Thrust levers, all are in fuel off. You can try to move them, but they're locked. Hydraulics, all off. So off, 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 off. Fuel panel, checked and set. Since we're getting ready to start, we're going to turn on all the fuel pumps. Cross feeds shut, common feeds shut, standby pumps on. Pressurization, checked and set. So for this flight, we'll pretend we're landing at sea level, so we'll leave the pressurization set to about 500 feet on auto. That is good. Ice detect, on. That is hidden behind this little guard here, and this is our automatic detection for ice. That is on. Lights and notices. These are these lights up here. So the logo light we don't need. Beacon we will turn on later. No smoking is on auto, so those are set. Where are we? Air conditioning, checked and set. Yes, we are on auto mode. Temperature's good. Looks like our temperature came up. Let me make it a little warmer. It's good. Fasten seat belts. We have a sign switch for that. Ding dong. And at this time, it's a good time to close the cockpit door. Bye, everybody. Wow, it got a lot quieter. Flow meters. These are the fuel flow meters. And there's a little reset button here for the fuel used. So we've reset all of those to 0. Fuel contents, we're showing full on the wing tanks and pretty much empty on the center, which for today's fictional flight is correct. Flight data recorder set. Nothing really to set here in the simulator, but we can test our cockpit voice recorder. That's fine. Nav aids and area nav. So this is when we could go set up. We'll turn on our nav1 radio, turn on our DME, and we could set our nav frequencies here for the departure that we'll be flying. Altimeters checked and set. There are 3 of them to set, and today we have a standard day, 29902, this one, 29902, and the co-pilot's altimeter, 29902. Briefing, this would be our crew briefing, complete. Master warning system ground op reset, that is not simulated, but the master warning system is working. And finally, TMS N1 speeds checked and bugs set. So here we could go power on the thrust modulation system. And what is today's temperature? It is a standard day. No, it's not quite. Looks like we're 11 Celsius. So we're going to set 11 and click takeoff. And that is our takeoff power, 902.9er. So on these bugs for N1, we could set these to about 93 right there. So I won't set those all right now, but this is when we would do that. And we will turn that off again for now. And then our N1 speeds. This automatically detects our aircraft weight, and we can verify this via the tablet. Our gross weight is 39,000 kilograms. And automatically detects that, and we can simply click, and it will automatically set the V speeds. In this case, because we have the flaps retracted, it sets them for 18 degrees. But if we have the flaps selected to 24, it would set them for 24 degrees. All right, so we are ready to start the engines. So APU generator set, we're going to leave that on for the moment. Beacon comes on right there. Packs and APU air off if we're starting from the APU, which we are. So air conditioning packs off, APU air off. Engine anti-ice switches are on. AC pump on for the yellow hydraulic system, and we see the pressure comes up. Fuel pumps, those are all on. And start power. So here we go to our engine start panel. So start power is set to norm. Start master is on, and we're going to select engine 4 first. And when we're ready, we're going to click start. So now we'll come down here and we're verifying N2 is rising. We can see oil pressure is rising. Now that N2 is above 10%, we verify we're below 100 on the turbine gas temperature, and we can introduce fuel. So we'll left click here to lower the latch and pull the handle forward. Now we can see we have fuel flow, temperature is rising, and N2 is continuing to rise. Pretty soon we should see this starting to stabilize. We should stabilize at ground idle, which is about 52%. Sure enough, temperature's coming down. All right, oil pressure, N1, temperature, N2, and fuel flow. So that's a good start on engine 4. So I'm going to do the next engine, 3, start. And there's an interesting thing to note. We'll do the same checks here. But with the engine anti-ice on, we're going to see this notice. Engine 4 valve not shut means we have more than 5 psi down in the pipe. We'll see that also for engine 3 once it's above about 35% N2. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead. I'll get the rest of these engines started, and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, welcome back. We have all 4 engines running now. I'm just going to cancel the master caution and master warning. Now we can continue with the after start checklist. Start power. Verify it's still on norm. Start select and master off and off. Engine anti-ice as required, so for today we're just going to turn that off. Generators can come online, so we'll turn on generator 1 and 4, and we can verify here engine generator 1 is producing good voltage and good frequency, and same with 4. Good. Brake fans. These cool the brakes. We're going to set these to auto. Hydraulics on and checked. So we'll turn on the hydraulic pump for engine 2 and the hydraulic pump on engine 3 to power the yellow and green systems. Those are working. Heaters on, so screen heat and pitot heats all on. APU and engine air as required. So now, since we're taxiing, we're going to turn the APU air back on and the packs for air conditioning back on as required. Our engine air we're going to leave off until climb. We'll turn those on once we're actually in the climb. TMS as required, so we would get this set up again. We're 11 degrees Celsius, 11 set there, takeoff. So there's our takeoff setting. Doors are closed, which they are, and we can verify that over, well, we can use the tablet. If the door was open, it would appear red like that. So white is closed. Finally, ground equipment removed. We don't have anybody out there, and transponder as required. So we will set that to TA. And there we go. The engines are started. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial for the engine starting, and I hope you'll join me for the next video, which will be taxi, takeoff, and initial climb. That's really where we're going to get into kind of the procedural nature of flying this airplane. Should be fun. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.